Hey guys, what's going on? It's Zach. For those of you who do not know me, I am the creator of Perennial Fitness. I just kind of want to give more about the company and what we stand for. So the entire original idea was, this is meant for, the busy parents, entrepreneurs, and kids in school. And what we were really trying to accomplish, what we want to accomplish now is, creating a community of people, who understand what it is, to grind every single day and to work their butts off. And, having a space to, really kind of talk and learn from each other, I think is going to be, kind of something that's going to be huge and revolutionary in the way, that social media is presented. And kind of a way that, I think that we're going to be able to do that is really being able to pull together so many like-minded people, because there are so many people that are like us that, feel the same way, but we don't really have that, venue to communicate. And, that's kind of another thing that we want Perennial Fitness to be, is that vessel for communication between, entrepreneurs and, busy parents and, students, because when you're putting in, 16 to 18 hours a day, every single day for years on end, that's really tiring. And, trying to fit in healthy habits on top of that makes, initially, life a lot more stressful, especially when you're trying to, balance time. So, like, for me, when I first moved up to Denver, I was working two full-time jobs. I was in management at Target, and I was being trained into management at Panera. Um, so I would open at 4 in the morning at Target, work my entire shift until noon, and then from noon to 4, I'd try and take a nap or go to the gym. Um, it really just kind of depended. It was dependent on how tired I was, and usually every single day I was pretty exhausted. And then I'd work from about 4 to 11 every night at Panera. I consider my weekends a day where I only worked one job. Um, I never really had both days off, and that was for 8 months, I want to say. Um, I wasn't eating the best. I wasn't, training the way that I wanted to train. I really kind of started getting, motivated to go back. Kind of, I think once I met my fiance was kind of, it's time to really kind of knuckle down and get disciplined again. I've been listening to, it's called the MFCEO Project on iTunes podcasts, and if you don't listen to it, I would highly, highly recommend it. I've actually been a really big supporter of a supplement company called First Form, and the owner and CEO Andy Frisella is the one that runs it. And it taught me so much that I think was able to really kind of help me stand out from everybody else in my generation, and to be able to find like-minded people that I feel like myself. I think it's a lot harder to find those people, but once you do, it's a connection that I can definitely think can last for a lifetime. And I was working in a management at Amazon. So on almost a daily basis, going into peak and coming out of peak, I was it's called a process guide. So not an official, manager position, but I was given the opportunity to run shift a couple times. So I mean, I was really leading, 50 to, depending on the day, 70 or 80 people in the AFE department, which is, all the packing and sorting for customer shipments. So like where we actually box the items, or um, split items into the package groups. That way we can put them all in the box. So I ran both of those. Kind of, depending on the day. Some days I would still go into what's called path, which is just the packing or the sorting of it. Um, and I think that's where I really kind of learned that making an impact is really, it's so fulfilling. Um, and to be able to do that on a larger scale, which is what we're trying to do here. I it's just so rewarding in so many different ways. Um, and I don't know, like I think that when we all struggle through things, whether it's time management, discipline, eating right, any of those things, but we have people that hold us accountable. I think that that's when everybody really kind of steps up. Because it's one thing for yourself to be accountable when like holding yourself accountable when you really haven't done that before, if that makes sense. So having a community where we can all hold each other accountable to hit our goals together. Um, I think that's going to be something that's really going to be huge throughout, the rest of our journey with Perennial. We're just getting started. Like I said in on my, I think on the story, our very first Instagram story, we were originally supposed to be a gym. Um, and when I initially, wrote out the business plan, yada yada, whatever, it's meant for our community, like who we are becoming. It's the people who are striving to be better every single day, that don't really think that they have the time to do so. And just having that hour where you're watching television now becomes an hour that you're at the gym, or reading the book, like a personal development book, or listening to your podcast. Changing the way that you structure your 24 hours to where you are the most successful you can be, and having the most growth as possible. Um, I think that's where we can all really kind of come together and do that for each other. You know, um, just really having that sense of community is something that I've always wanted in a gym. I've been working out I think since 2011, 2012. So about 7 or 8 years, I think. I'd have to kind of ask my dad about that because he's the one that got me into it. And when you have those friends that are there with you, that are there pushing themselves right alongside you, it's such an amazing feeling, to be able to push yourself that far. And I think that having, our community be able to do that is huge. So, kind of back to the gym. I know I kind of got off topic. Back to the gym. When we, yeah, when I initially wrote out the business plan, it was meant to target specifically businessmen and women, right? People who are working, 16, 18-hour days, like busy parents, because at least from what my parents have told me about myself, it is a huge pain in the ass. Um, because that's a lot of responsibility, and I totally understand that. And being able to have that hour when they're off at daycare before you pick them up, you can go to the gym. Of course, I don't understand that pressure, um, but from my knowledge of what I've been told, you know, the gym does so many amazing things for your body and for your mind that I think an hour would really help build men and women up to be the parents that they want to be to their kids. Um, Setting positive um, habits and instilling them in their kids as well. Can really change the way that future generations grow up. Like it's not just my generation or baby boomers or the generation gap in between. It's future generations that we really want to impact as well. Um, so yeah, businessmen and women, parents and students, because like when I was in high school, you know, full course load, I was in about 3 or 4 different band classes throughout the year, and marching band took up a lot of time. And then, so pretty much what would happen is like my senior year, I'd wake up at 4:30, go to the gym, get ready, go to school, and then after school I'd usually have like after school rehearsal in the fall for marching band, and then after that, probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night, depending on the night. Um, then I'd spend the rest of the time until about midnight practicing for my auditions for what's called the Troopers Drum Bugle Corps. Basically, I just describe it as the like extreme nerd band. Basically, we travel across the country performing our show, and it was in front of huge crowds, and it was a huge blast. And it really taught me that when you buckle down and really decide on your goal and actively work towards it, that's when change happens. That's when progression happens, and that's when you really learn about yourself and what you're made of. And we want to be able to do that with this company as well. This is my first ever YouTube video, so I know it's kind of wonky, but kind of stick in because we're learning as we go. We're kids as well, so we don't have all the answers. We're learning as much as we can so we can bring out the best product for you guys. If this is something that you guys really like, or if anybody watches it, leave a comment. That'd be totally awesome. And thank you really for sticking out this long. And hope you have a great day. And let's get after it. All right, have a good one, guys.